Think Like a Detective: A Kid's Guide to Critical Thinking by David Pakman. Are you ready to use your brain to solve mysteries and uncover hidden secrets? We're about to embark on an exciting journey through the world of critical thinking. Critical thinking is like having a secret superpower that helps you figure out whether something is true or not. This is an important skill to have because many people use the media and other sources to spread lies and false information. By asking the right questions and looking for evidence, you'll learn to spot lies and know whether something you read or hear is actually true. Critical thinking will also help you to solve problems that others thought were impossible to figure out. Meet Daniel. He's a curious young boy who loves solving mysteries, and he needs your help in order to become a great detective. As you join Daniel on his adventures, you'll use your power of observation, questioning, and reasoning to become a master of critical thinking. One way we can use our critical thinking superpower is by asking good questions. Daniel needs your help to solve a mystery. Where should we start? Detectives need to be careful when they're asking questions. We'll need to be specific about what we ask so we don't get mixed up with the wrong information. Detectives ask lots of follow-up questions to get more details. We should stay curious by using why and how questions to help us understand more clearly. Detectives know what information they'll need in order to solve a mystery. We should take our time before asking questions and think about what we really want to know. Let's give it a try and use our critical thinking superpower to solve a mystery by asking good questions. This is Max. He says the aliens are coming from outer space, but before we get too worried, let's use our critical thinking superpower to figure out if what he's saying is true. Here are some questions we could ask. How does Max know about the aliens? Does he have any proof? Have any other people seen the aliens too, or is Max the only one? If the aliens are coming to visit, why haven't they arrived yet? Have there been any strange lights in the sky or unusual things happening that might be connected to the aliens? Is Max just kidding around, or is he serious about the aliens? By asking these questions and thinking about the answers, we can figure out if we should believe Max. It's important to use our brains and ask questions before believing everything we hear. If Max doesn't have good answers, then what he says might not be true. What would you ask Max? Another way to use our critical thinking superpower is by looking for evidence. Evidence is like a clue. It helps us get a full picture. But without good clues, we might not be able to solve the mystery. Daniel's friend Cassie tells him that there's a hidden treasure from a shipwreck under the ocean. Where should we start looking for evidence? We can start with questions like these. Was there really a shipwreck? Did the ship actually have any treasure? Did somebody already collect the treasure? Is there any reason Cassie would lie to Daniel? How did Cassie hear about the shipwreck? Is there a map to the treasure? Can we trust it? By asking these questions, we can try to figure out if the treasure really exists, and, if it does, where to find it. Let's practice using our critical thinking superpower to find good evidence and uncover the truth. This is Tucker. He says he saw a ghost in his bedroom last night. Before we get too scared, let's use our critical thinking skills to figure out if it's true. What is some evidence we can look for to check if Tucker really saw a ghost? Ask Tucker to tell us what he saw. We can ask him to tell us what the ghost looked like, what it did, and where it was. Look for clues in the room. We can look around Tucker's bedroom for anything unusual like scratches or footprints. Watch videos. We can check if there are any videos from cameras or phones that might have recorded something in Tucker's room. Ask an expert. We could ask a doctor or scientist what they think about Tucker's story. Do most scientists believe in ghosts? See if it happened before. We can ask people who lived in Tucker's house if they ever saw a ghost. It is important to remember that just because someone said they saw a ghost, it doesn't mean it's true. We should look for all the evidence we can find and not decide if something is true until we have all the facts. What kind of evidence would you look for? Sometimes people say things like, bananas are the best tasting fruit, or the sun is very hot. Sometimes the things people say are facts, and sometimes they are opinions. A fact is something we can verify, and an opinion is a personal belief. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion, but confusing fact and opinion can cause us to make the wrong choices, so it's important that we learn how to tell the difference. Daniel needs your help. Are these facts or opinions? Summer is the best season. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Swimming is more fun than running. The Earth is a planet that revolves around the sun. Monkeys are mammals. Ice cream is the best dessert. Let's practice using our critical thinking superpower to identify opinions and facts. This is Marge. She says that people with freckles are more likely to steal. Before we believe her and stop being scared of people with freckles, let's use our critical thinking skills to figure out if Marge is stating a fact or just making an assumption. An assumption is something that is accepted as true without proof. To find out if Marge's statement is fact or assumption, we can ask Marge where she got her information. Is it from a trustworthy source? Look for evidence to support Marge's claim. Is there research that shows a connection between freckles and stealing? Ask ourselves if Marge is making any sense. Is it likely that freckles would be connected to stealing? Look for other explanations or points of view. Do other people have different ideas? It's important to check if the things people tell us are true or not. And we can do this by looking for evidence. Our assumptions might be true, but we should always double check. Sometimes people say things that aren't true on purpose. That's called lying. Don't worry though. With your critical thinking superpower, you can get better at spotting when somebody is telling a lie. Daniel is shopping for some new pillows, and the salesperson tells him that the pillows are made out of unicorn hair. Daniel is pretty sure the salesperson is lying. How can you be sure? He can start by asking, do unicorns exist? Does anyone else agree the pillows are made of unicorn hair? Does the salesperson seem trustworthy? Does the salesperson have a reason to lie? Has the salesperson lied in the past? By asking questions like these, we can try to figure out if the salesperson is telling the truth. Let's practice using our critical thinking superpower to identify more lies. Ronald says that 1,000 people went to his birthday party, but in the pictures, it looks like only 50 people were there. Let's use our critical thinking superpower to figure out if Ronald is telling a lie. Here are some things we can ask Ronald. Are there pictures or videos that show 1,000 people at the party? Did anyone else at the party see 1,000 people there? Has Ronald lied before? Is it likely that 1,000 people would go to a birthday party? Spotting lies isn't always easy. Don't be afraid to ask questions and seek out evidence. And remember that it's always okay to ask for help. Hooray! We've used our critical thinking superpower to ask good questions, gather evidence, and spot lies. Now we're ready to come to a conclusion. Not all conclusions are created equally. Some conclusions are stronger than others, such as, how do we know which conclusion is best? A conclusion is like a building. Some buildings are built with strong materials that can survive any storm. Conclusions that are based on good evidence are similar to strong buildings. They will hold up, even under close examination. But if a building is constructed with weak materials, it can easily fall down. Conclusions based on assumptions, lies, and bad evidence are similar to weak buildings. They will not hold up under close examination. We can check whether the building is safe, and we can also check if our ideas are correct. We should listen to other people's thoughts and be ready to consider other explanations for the things we believe. Let's use our critical thinking superpower to take what we've learned and draw the best conclusions. Daniel is trying to solve the mystery of who stole cookies from the kitchen. There are 3 suspects: Sarah, Dylan, and Katie. We now have to decide who stole the cookies based on the following evidence. Sarah was in the kitchen when the cookies went missing, but you know Sarah doesn't like cookies and prefers ice cream. Sarah has no history of stealing and has no reason to steal cookies. Dylan has cookie crumbs all over his shirt, but he was at the park with a friend when the cookies went missing. Dylan says his friend gave him a cookie at the park, but we don't know for sure. Katie was also in the kitchen when the cookies went missing, has crumbs all over her face, has stolen in the past. When we asked her about the cookies, she got nervous and kept changing her story. What conclusion would you make and why? Remember, the strongest conclusion is the one that makes the most sense and is based on the best evidence. We did it! Together we solved mysteries that others thought were impossible. With your critical thinking superpower, you can now ask the right questions, gather evidence, and detect lies like a true detective. The adventure doesn't end here. The world is full of mysteries waiting to be solved. Even when things don't make sense, you now have the tools to uncover the truth. Daniel's adventures may be done for now, but yours are just beginning. You can use the things you learned with Daniel to be a better problem solver. We had a blast solving mysteries together. Let's do it again soon. The end of Think Like a Detective by David Pakman.